Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So today I'm going to show you all how to preserve dried foods or dry pack any dried foods that you may have in a mason jar with a vacuum sealer lid. So you would need this. However, you're not going to need a food saver machine or the tube to do this. And also, you're not going to need a brake bleeder. The intent of this video is to allow those of you that may not be able to afford a food saver machine or a vacuum sealing machine and can afford this attachment, which is only, I think, about $7 or $8. It's not that much. And not have to have anything else except for one other thing that I would say most people have in their homes. Some of you may not have this, but I would say that most people do have in their homes. And that's a vacuum cleaner. Now, I got this idea from a community member that sent me an email a long time ago, and I wish I could remember who it is that sent me that email. But if you're watching this, chime in the comments and let us know that it was you. So thank you for the idea. I think this is going to work really well because the concept is that we want to get air out of here. We want to get air out of the jar using this. And this kind of works like if it was a check valve, meaning that it would allow air to get sucked out, but it does not allow any air to enter it once you remove the attachment from here. So we're going to see if this works. Today I'm going to try and dry can some cashews that I have in here for long-term food storage. So in addition to using the jar and the attachment, we're also going to put an oxygen absorber in there. In addition, we're going to need to have something to place on top of here that will act as somewhat of a gasket to make sure that the vacuum has a good seal. So what I ended up finding was just stuff that I had around the house. I think that a piece of rubber, thick rubber, that would encapsulate this whole area and have a hole in the middle that will allow the air to be sucked out of would work best. But all I could find in my house was just some door trim that I'm going to put together and put a hole in the middle along with a piece of cardboard. And I think that's going to work. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and hopefully it'll work. And those of you that are not in the position to purchase a food saver or even in the position to purchase a brake bleeder, you can do this with just having this attachment and a vacuum cleaner. First, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and explain to you all something that kind of upset me, having to do with the sale that I thought that Emergency Essentials was having. So I've been on the phone back and forth since early this morning with the vice president of sales at Emergency Foods. And by the way, he's a very nice person. And I've been on the phone back and forth with him because I was very concerned as to what's going on. So I want to explain to those of you that clicked on that link that I provided, which I have taken down, if you have noticed, and I've left a note on there, including a pinned comment on the live stream video that I put up. I wanted to go ahead and explain to you guys what happened. So ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and break in real quick because I just received this email from the VP of sales at Emergency Essentials. And I'm going to go ahead and post this email on the community link or on the community taskbar. And also I'm going to go ahead and pin it on top of the comments to this video. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on Facebook as well. And I just wanted to go ahead and read you what the email says. And it goes as follows. Over the weekend, an error in the system that provides website links to Alaska Prepper made a connection to our test site that does not contain active products or a real promotion. We are very sorry for the confusion. That testing website does not save any billing information. We save only the contact information of those of you who ordered, so we can send each of you an individual coupon as an apology for the misunderstanding and thank you for your ongoing business. We love our Alaska Prepper customers and want to ensure you have the best possible experience with Emergency Essential products and our website. Each person who ordered should receive their coupon via email today, November 11th. If you have any questions or difficulties, please contact our customer service team at 1-800-999-1863. So ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, that we're going to try to do something to help you guys out for having gone through any troubles that you went through. And it seems like you're all going to be receiving some coupon. At least those of you that placed an order are going to be receiving a coupon through email sometime today. I want to take responsibility for what happened, but I believe in placing responsibility where it belongs. So I will take partial responsibility for what happened because I am the one that provided you with the link. From what I understand, that site was just a pseudo site that they were using, I guess for practice, if you want to call it that. And it was mistakenly placed in the area where affiliates get their links from. That sale, or when I saw that sale, I was like, oh my God, this is such a great sale. And I think you could hear the excitement in my voice when I was telling you guys about it. Unfortunately, it's not a sale. And for that, I truly apologize. I was very distraught over this when I was talking with the vice president of sales. In addition to that, they're going to be sending me a new product that they came out to. It's a 2-week food survival pack. And they promised to give me a good discount code for it for anyone that wanted to purchase that. And I'll review that when it comes in. I was on the verge of not doing so because I was pretty upset over what happened. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand mistakes do happen. And they've happened before. And more than likely, mistakes will happen again in the future. It's, do we stay bitter about it or do we, continue on? Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes these things happen. The trick, that I've found through life is that when something happens that's not favorable or optimal to your situation, that you have to carry on, especially if there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so I feel terrible. I really do. I feel terrible. I even sent them an email asking them if they would allow me to purchase some over the phone and pay for the extra shipping for that beef that was on sale. So I myself thought 100% that was on sale. All right. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just move on. And hopefully those of you that did try to purchase some will be made not whole because your credit cards won't be charged at all, but will be given something and replaced to help soften the blow that you weren't able to get that deal. Because if that was a real deal, that was the deal of a lifetime that I've seen ever since I started looking at long-term food storage. But like I said, let's move on. All right, so now let's go ahead and try this and see if it's going to work. All right, so we're going to need a vacuum cleaner and we're going to need the hose end of a vacuum cleaner. And all we're going to do is, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see better. We'll get to it when we need it. We're going to need oxygen absorbers, of course. And for those of you that think that nuts will not last because they go rancid, in order for oil to go rancid, from what I understand, they need oxygen. And I have nuts that I've put away. I have pecans and walnuts and almonds that I've put away in a sealed bag with an oxygen absorber in it years ago that are still good to eat today. I actually just made a banana bread not too long ago that I put some almonds in it, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the almonds, and I've had them for years, all right, in a sealed bag. So that's my experience. I can't tell you that you have the same experience, but I can tell you that that's my experience with being able to preserve the freshness of any kind of nuts that you want to put away. All right, so we're going to start out with a quart jar, because in this case, that's what I'm going to fill. I'm just going to fill this up and then eat the rest. And what I'm doing in this case, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm using a brand new lid. I want to give this as much of the benefit of a doubt that I can. So I'm going to use a new lid to make sure that if it does work, that it works well, and that I won't have to have any doubts about it losing its seal. So I've got a new lid, my ring. I've got a clean jar. Let's go ahead and make the gasket that goes on here. So as you can see, I've got a piece of cardboard that will fit up here pretty well. And the cardboard has to be able to accept the the area of the vacuum cleaner hose. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little hole in here with a pair of scissors, or you can do it with whatever you want. You just want to make sure you center it pretty well. So I just got a cheap pair of scissors here. I'm going to put a hole right in the middle, and I'm going to try to make sure that that hole is a little bit bigger than the hole that goes in there. And it doesn't have to be really pretty. It just has to fit on there, you see? It just has to fit on there really good. You can see the hole through there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this out real quick. See there? Now, I'm going to go ahead, and like I said, I'm just doing this with what I have around the house. Preferably, I would say that if you had a piece of thick rubber or a gasket like this, like a window or door gasket that was one piece, that was big enough to cover this whole thing, that would work probably just as well, if not better. So what I'm going to do here is, since I have two pieces, I'm going to go ahead and match my pieces together. And then I'm going to try to find the center and just give it a notch. Okay? Now I'm just going to cut a rough hole opening right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. As you can see, that's not bad. Now we're going to put this on top of the cardboard. We're going to center the hole on the hole that's on the cardboard. And we're going to try to get this as tight as possible together. As you can see, we can put that right up there over the hole, and we should be ready to go as far as putting the vacuum cleaner up. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, my jar is full, and I could actually fill another jar or two with this container I got, but I think that's going to go to work with me to use as snacks. We're going to go ahead and put one oxygen absorber in here. And this is how I store my oxygen absorbers. For those of you that may not know, it's worked for me for a very long time. And I know that some other people store them in different ways, but this is just how I store them. I'm just going to rush in here and grab one. I'm going to cover this right up again and make sure that the lid is on. And this will reseal itself with the oxygen absorbers that's in there. And just because you leave the oxygen absorber right there outside for a little bit, that's not going to hurt anything, as long as you don't leave it for too long. So now we're going to put our lid on it. We're going to put our attachment on it. We're going to try to go in nice and straight without going from side to side, to make sure that the lid stays where it's supposed to go. Now we're going to go ahead and put this on it right here. And you're going to want to center that hole. See that? Center that hole where it's supposed to go. Not sure how well you can see that or not. But right there, it's centered pretty well. And now we're going to put our vacuum cleaner hose right on top of it. And I'm going to go straight down. And I'm going to press a little bit hard. Okay? And then I'm going to turn it on. And that should have sealed this. Let's see if it worked. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It worked just like it works when you use the machine or a brake bleeder. So those of you that do not have the funds to purchase a machine or even a brake bleeder and have, $7 to $10 to buy one of these attachments, I think you can get them both for like $15. I'll make sure to put these up on my Amazon storefront to make sure that you can find them easily. But if you have a few dollars for these and you have mason jars and lids, you can use these to seal your jars with dry goods. And this should work on any size jar. I haven't tried it on any other size. This is the first time I've tried it, but it works very well. And when I had the vacuum cleaner on there, I had it on there for, I believe, less than 10 seconds. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's my little hack for the day. Thank you again for the community member that gave me this idea. He pretty much told me that you should be able to do it with a vacuum cleaner. So I'm giving it a try, and it works just fine. So I hope that you guys who don't have a food saver would at least get yourselves a set of these so that you can start dry canning things that you have available to dry can instead of using a Mylar bag if you cannot afford Mylar bags, right? Because doing it like this is only going to cost you the price of the lid and the price of the oxygen absorber, which is roughly 35 cents or so, depending on how much you pay for the lids. But this is a great alternative, and a lot of people do dry can their goods. This is just another way that you can do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. I hope that you guys got something out of this. And listen, if you did, please give this video a like and share this video with someone that you think may need to know about this way of dry canning, because I think it's very useful to be able to use the things that you already have instead of going out and buying new stuff all the time just to do one other thing. All right. Again, thank you very much for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out.